some confusion. There's been some confusion, so I want to get started with, I appreciate everyone showing up and being here this morning. COVID testing is going to be done at a rapid testing site nowadays. We're not going to go to Kaiser or any other vendor. If you don't have insurance, then River City will make arrangements. I'll reach out to them today on how we will pay for COVID testing so that there's no out-of-pocket expense for you. That way we'll get our testing back right away. And everyone can be settled down and back to work as soon as possible. All communications for COVID starts with the safety department. Don't go to your supervisor if you think you're sick. If you have test results, you'll come to Dave. I will reach out to your supervisor. I will reach out to HR. I will reach out to Jonathan, and we'll manage your COVID case based on information that you give to me. That way there's no in-between folks and there's no confusion. Everything starts and stops in one location. That'll make it a lot simpler for everybody else. Starting September 1st, there's no more paid COVID relief funds. The government stopped it last March, and River City is no longer going to offer COVID pay. If you get COVID or you're out for testing, any COVID related activity, you need to use your PTO. And again, you can come to me for that. I can check with Robin or HR and see how much COVID time you have. And that's just how things are going to be from now on. August 24th, Governor Brown announced an outdoor mask requirement. That was her most recent announcement. She also had an announcement the other day. All masks are to be worn outside the company when you're outside, if you're within 6 feet of somebody. And all masks are to be worn indoors in our facility in every building we have. Even if it's the shop is required to wear their masks even in the repair bays. The full time, if anyone's within, because that is considered inside of a building. Steve wants everyone to comply. It's not only for your safety, it's for the safety of other people, as well as an OSHA law. It's a requirement by the state of Oregon that we wear our masks indoors and outdoors if we're within 6 feet of someone. If you're outdoors working by yourself and you're the only person there, don't expect you to wear a mask. If anyone comes over to where you're at, you need to be masked, and so do they. So we're going to have everybody masked everywhere in our company, including the restrooms. If you come inside the building to use the restroom, then I expect you to wear your mask. So does Steve, so does Robin. Other people share that bathroom, and no one wants to go in there if you've been in there and you weren't wearing a mask, because your droplets or potential contamination, if you are sick, are going to be in the air and on the counters. So even in the restrooms, you're expected to wear your masks. We're not going to have any open food anymore. No donuts, pizza, coffee, no shared food in the facility at all until the mandates go away. And on job sites, when you're working on job sites, you're expected to wear your mask on other people's job sites. This includes residential sites. I know that if someone came to my house to do work, I would expect them to wear their mask while they're at my house doing work. And all our clients like Intel, Skanska, JLL, they're all requiring masks to be worn on their sites. So we're going to follow suit, and everybody's going to wear their masks at all times. Office staff, we want you to use disinfectant spray when you start your shift and clean your work area, your desks, and your areas that you work in. And we expect you to do the same thing on the way out the door for the evening. Anyone who has any questions? Anyone have any questions? Nobody has any questions? So there's a River City meeting agenda. Yes, ma'am. Hi, Ginger.
Hi. So I was a little confused. Are we all getting tested for COVID? Is that what's going on?
No, if there's
Oh, okay.
anyone that feels that they have symptoms and they need to be tested, we're going to use the rapid test location. If you don't already have River City Kaiser insurance, which pays for it, when you call them, then we're going to make arrangements so River City pays for it. So there's no out-of-pocket expense for you. And
Okay, thank you.
the meeting agenda should be by the time clocks, or you can come see me to get all the information in regards to where we'll be doing that. I'd be your first point of contact anyway. Any employees that feel that they don't want to wear their masks in a truck, if you're in any one of our vehicles, there's not a vehicle we have that's large enough that if there's 2 people in there, you wouldn't be wearing a mask. If anyone sees you out on job sites and or in one of our vehicles, 2 people without wearing masks, we're going to get calls. OSHA could get a call. They would come out to our facility, and it would be a great problem for us to have to deal with that. So we need you to understand that in vehicles, even though you may not think River City sees you, everybody else sees you. And the same thing with on job sites. You may think you're working alone, but the little old lady next door, someone has a camera, they take a picture, they send it to OSHA, and then OSHA's down at our job sites and giving us lectures and giving us problems. So we don't want the problems from the state. It's state mandated. We need to follow through with that. Anyone who can't wear a mask or doesn't feel the policy fits them and they can't adhere to the policy, they don't want to adhere to the policy, please just reach out to me, Jonathan, or Steve McGinnis, schedule a meeting. We'll sit down with you and we'll talk about the importance of doing it, and we'll come to some understanding on how that's going to look. If there's, anything we can do to accommodate you, we'll listen to your concerns, and then based on our conversation, we'll go to the next level if that needs to be done. We just need to have everyone on the same page and looking out for the company. This affects everyone in the company. It's just not a you thing. No one's picking on anybody. It affects everyone in the company. If we're not wearing masks, if we're not following the protocols, it affects everybody with illness, possible illness, and also with legal problems with OSHA. So we need everyone to be on board. Jonathan, you got anything you want to add to this?
No, I'm good, Dave. Thank you.
Anyone have any questions? Robin, do you have anything you want to add to this? Is there anything you need? I didn't make clear.
Nope, I'm good. Thank you.
All right, I'll turn it back over to you, Robin.
All right, I'm going to turn it over to Brandon and Mandy. They are our broker with Montgomery and Graham, and they're going to go over our new benefit or our same benefit offering for the 2021-22 plan year.
All right, thank you, Robin, and good morning, everybody. I am Brandon, and this is Mandy, and we are your benefit consultants. We work on behalf of River City. We do not work for Kaiser. We work for you and trying to negotiate the best plans that we can. First and foremost, I just want to thank you for coming to work today as we go and visit our employers. It's amazing, the shortage of workers out there. We appreciate the working class, so thank you for that. I do want to let you know it's been a tough year when it comes to medical costs and benefits for employers. Carriers are issuing double-digit increases, and River City did get a double-digit from Kaiser. And so there was a lot of negotiating discussions that we had as a leadership, and I will tell you that you are very fortunate to have the package that we are about to lay out. There was discussions of reducing benefits to save costs, but the decision was made that they were not going to cut benefits. And not only are they not cutting benefits, they're actually going to increase contributions for your dependents. And I will go through that in a minute. But the good news is that your two plans with Kaiser are staying the same as they have before. And this is rare right now in this landscape that we have. And so I'm going to share my screen. I know many of you may not be able to see this, but later we will be sending a video link out that you can go through with you and your dependents. So the first thing is the two plans that we have with Kaiser. We have what we call a base plan, and this is covered 100% for employees. You have no contributions on this plan. This is a $2,000 deductible for you as an individual. If you have a family, it's a $6,000 total deductible. And again, you don't have to pay your deductible first for some of the benefits, and I will go through that. You're out of pocket, which means your worst case scenario that you would have to pay for a year in medical costs is $5,500 for an individual and $11,000 for family. Once you've hit this out of pocket, everything is covered 100%. Even no copays are required after you've hit the deductible. So for example, if you have a surgery that's going to cost you $25,000, the most that you would pay is $5,500, and then you would be covered 100% after that. There are some copays though that make it easy for you. If you go to a primary care physician, it's a $25 copay. If you go to a specialist, it's a $35 copay. Kaiser has really been kind of the pioneer in the virtual visits. They've had it for quite a while. We do encourage this. It's convenient. It's covered in full. There is no copay. It's 100%. Most of you probably experienced this as last year. That was our only option for about 3 or 4 months. So telemedicine is a good route. You encourage urgent care over emergency room. This is going to be more affordable and it's going to save you a lot of time. This is a $45 copay. And then if you do have to go in the hospital, it's inpatient or outpatient, you are going to have to pay your deductible. And then you get covered 80%. You're responsible for 20%. And again, it's up to the out-of-pocket max. Emergency room is also 80% covered, 20% you would pay after deductible. So again, really trying to hit the urgent care, that's only a $45 copay versus where an ER, you're paying everything up to the deductible and then you're covered at 80%. Basic lab and x-ray is a $25 copay. And then advanced imaging, which includes your MRI, CAT scans, the high cost x-rays are covered at a $100 copay. We also have alternative care. We want to remind people of this. We can all use probably some alternative care right now. This includes acupuncture, chiropractic, naturopaths, massage therapy is covered. It's just a $25 copay. Encourage you to go out and get a little massage. And you do have a combined benefit maximum, so you get up to $1,000 for any of those benefits. Also, your vision is covered. We encourage you to go get your vision exam done. That's only $25 copay. And also you have up to $150 that you can use towards glasses and frames and lenses. And that is every 2 years. Your exam is covered every year. And then finally, prescriptions, you have a $15 generic, a $30 for a preferred brand. That would include prescriptions that have been out for quite a while. And then if you have a non-preferred brand, those are usually the ones that we see advertised. That would be a $50 copay. So that is your base plan. Now the buy-up plan, which is a really good benefit. In fact, we represent over 500 companies in the Pacific Northwest, we only have a few that offer a $0 deductible. So you do have the option to buy up to this plan where it's a $0 annual deductible for you and your family. The out-of-pocket is $3,000 for individual, $6,000 for family. This is what we call the Rich Cadillac plan. And it's nice that we have this option to buy up to. And I will show you the cost here in a few minutes. A lot of the things are kind of similar. I won't spend a lot of time on this one, but just to show you a few things, the copays. You do have a $35 copay for primary care physician, $45 for specialist. Urgent care is $60. Now, the rich part of it is if you do get admitted to the hospital, either inpatient or outpatient, it's $800 per admittance and a $150 copay. That's a lot better than having to pay the deductible on the other plan and then getting covered 80%. Emergency room is also only a $200 copay, where the other one, remember, you have to pay up to the deductible. And then basic lab and x-ray and advanced imaging are all covered, similar to the other plan. And then also the alternative care is covered the same as the other plan as well. And then prescriptions are the same. So really the big difference in that is a lower deductible, lower out-of-pocket, and lower hospitalization. So the decision you have to make, and this is the time that we need to do this, and Mandy will explain how you're going to make some of these changes. If you are in the base plan now, let's say you know you have some costs coming up this year, and you have a surgery or a couple procedures, this is the time to maybe switch and go into the buy-up plan. Reversely, if you're on the buy-up and you feel healthy and you don't have anything planned and you really don't want to buy up, this is the time to go to the base plan. So I'm going to go down here to the cost portion. And here we're going to focus on the medical. And then, for example, if you are wanting to go on the base plan and you're an employee, as I said, it's covered 100%. You have no contributions required. If you want to go into the HMO $0 deductible plan, then it will cost you $50.61 per pay period. So monthly, this would be times 2. We're looking at about $101 a month that it would cost you to go into the $0 deductible. And then also we have the dependents laid out here and those costs. I'll let you look at that at a later time. But I will explain to you now the contribution increased by River City. After your first year of employment at River City, you will be covered at 20% towards your dependents. And so your costs will go down in your second year as if you have dependents. After you complete your second year, River City will kick in 40% towards your dependent costs. After year 3, they will kick in 60%. After year 4, 80%. And then the big one, after your 5th year, you will be covered 100% for both employee and dependent. And this is, again, it's phenomenal that they're offering this. I don't see 100% for employee and dependent much anymore. So kudos to River City for stepping up on that. Okay. So we've covered the medical. We're now going to go into the dental, and I'm going to turn the time over to Mandy.
Thanks, Brandon. So before we go into the dental, I just want to remind everybody about a couple of cool things about Kaiser. I know you guys have been with Kaiser for some time. I'm going to share my screen here, if I may.
Just a second. All right,
Okay.
Mandy, you should be able to do it.
Thank you. I know everyone's on mute, but I can only imagine there was applause happening with the contribution strategy. So I'm very excited for you guys. That's amazing that River City's going to be increasing that contribution for dependents. That's so cool. So if everybody can see my screen right here, I just kind of wanted to remind everybody about the different options and ways that you guys can get coverage with Kaiser and seek care. So as Brandon mentioned, you know, Kaiser is kind of a pioneer in the telehealth world. And there's a couple different options here. They have a 24/7 care advice line where you can get medical advice, care guidance in the moment from Kaiser Permanente provider. And so that's a great option if maybe you're home on the weekend, maybe it's late at night, maybe you have a child who's you have some questions about, that's a great way to do that. Obviously, you can have an in-person visit, and at times you can get a same-day appointment, not always with your Kaiser provider. You'd have to be maybe willing to drive to a different Kaiser facility, but you can go in person. That's always an option for you. Emailing your provider is another really cool thing about Kaiser. So you can message your doctor's office with non-urgent questions anytime. You would need to sign into your kp.org account, and hopefully you guys will have those. I know you've been with Kaiser for some time. So that's a great option for you as well. If you just have a quick question, it's nothing urgent, but you just want to kind of run something past a provider, that's one way to do it. You could also have a phone appointment. That's an option for you for just minor conditions, nothing major, obviously. And then of course the video visit, which that's helpful. It's no copay for you on either of the plans. So again, if it's convenient for you and it works better for your schedule, these video visit and phone appointments are really good options for you if it's something that you can discuss over a virtual chat. And then the last one I just want to remind you about is the e-visit. And that's something where you can fill out an online questionnaire, and then a registered nurse at Kaiser will call you or email to provide you helpful guidance and recommend a doctor visit if that's needed, or order any necessary prescriptions. So again, there's lots of different ways to seek care with Kaiser. And so I just kind of wanted to remind everybody about all the different ways. The next piece I wanted to share with you is that Kaiser does have a mobile app. And again, I know you guys have been with Kaiser for some time, and so you probably have this on your phone already, but if you don't, it's really helpful because you can have your ID card right there on your phone, right on your mobile app. You can schedule appointments, you can do a video visit like we talked about, email the doctor, order or refill any prescriptions this way, and then you can also always find doctors in different locations. So I just would encourage people to download the app if they haven't already, and then register at kp.org so that you can have access to all your records and all your things. So that's pretty helpful. Okay, so now I'm going to go back to the cost sheet that Brandon was reviewing. Can you see my screen, Brandon? That working out okay? Okay, so the good news is that we have another dental plan option for you being offered this year. We used to have this base one plan option. It's got a $1,000 maximum per person on this plan. There's not an office visit copay. Your preventive services, like your cleanings, those are covered at 100%. And then if you had basic services, that's 80% is covered. And then major service, 50%. So that's the current plan, and that is still an option. If that plan works for you, that's great. But I do want to let you guys know that there's a buy-up dental plan. And I know sometimes it doesn't feel like the dental goes a long way. So this is a great option for people that maybe have a few more services that they need to get done this year. Still have this deductible, it's $50 per person, up to $150. And that deductible only applies to the basic and major services. It's waived on the preventive. But same plan design as far as 100% for preventive, 80% for basic, 50 for major, but you have a $2,000 maximum per person on this plan. So that's a great option for you if that's something that you're looking for. And then the other thing on this plan that I want to point out is that for orthodontia, they do cover child-only orthodontia on this plan. And it's a 50%, up to 50% to a $2,000 maximum. And that's a lifetime maximum, and that's per child. So every child would have access to this if you elect this plan. But I just want to let you know this is an option for you this year. And this is really a nice little add-on here. And as Brandon had reviewed down here, I'm not going to go into all these numbers. I know it's a lot, but you can see what your cost would be on the contribution strategy, because that's also going to carry over to the dental plan as well. So this is very generous. This is, of course, again, based on your years of employment and on your anniversary, and then they'll start covering some dependent costs. But as you can see, it makes it pretty affordable for the dental plan. So that's wonderful. I want to remind you guys that if you're enrolled in the dental plan, there's an employer paid life plan for you. And it's a $50,000 life benefit. River City pays for that if you're enrolled in any of the dental plans. And so just wanting to remind you that that's there for you. You also have a voluntary life AD&D option, which means that you can buy additional life insurance for yourself or your dependents. And because it's open enrollment right now, I just want to remind you that you can buy an additional 2 increments. They're $10,000 increments, and you can buy those at open enrollment with no questions asked if you're already enrolled in the voluntary life plan. So you don't have to do that every year. Maybe you didn't buy it last year, but this year you're thinking you want $10,000 or $20,000 more. You can do that at open enrollment time. The short-term disability also available to you. And then the one thing I did want to review is the Cascade Centers, which is an EAP. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing here for just a second. Trying to find that flyer. Well, I'm going to just talk about the EAP. So it's with Cascade Centers, and we have a flyer, and we will also post that on Navigator, Employee Navigator.
Mandy, I'm going to share my screen.
Thank you.
There you go.
Oh, there it is. So this is just something, it's an employee assistance program, and we know it's been a rough couple of years here. And so we do want to remind employees that this is available at no charge to you. It's something that's, you know, paid for by River City, and it's confidential, it's free. No one's going to know that you're calling this. If you have some stress management that you need to deal with, if you're grieving, if you have anxiety, depression, conflicts at work, those are all reasons that you can use this EAP, and you can contact them. You can have a face-to-face visit. You can have a virtual visit. You can have a phone call. But this is just a great resource, and I like to remind people that they have it because, again, we're all dealing with a lot of things. We're trying to figure out, you know, like you guys talked about, how to wear your mask at all times and go onto job sites and do your job and then take on all the other things. And a lot of you have families and you're managing marriages and kids. And so we know that things can get to be a lot. So this is a great option for you. And I just wanted to remind you that you had that available. And again, we will put this information on Navigator as well so that you have access to this flyer and you can reach out. The phone numbers on here and the website, and if you need any assistance with life. So that's kind of a great thing. So the last thing that I was going to remind everybody is that it is open enrollment time, and we do need people to make elections. Even if you're sitting out there and you're saying, I'm going to do the exact same thing I did last year, you're going to receive an email this morning from Employee Navigator. And please check your junk email too, because sometimes those do go there. It's not from River City, it's not from Montgomery and Graham, but it is from Employee Navigator. And you'll then log in there and just select your benefits. And it'll show you what you currently have if you're currently enrolled. And then you'll be able to do the exact same thing again if that's what you want to do. Or if you want to make changes, you can do that. So you can add dependents or drop dependents, or go to a buy-up plan. Now that there's a new dental option, maybe you want to do that this year. But that's where you're going to manage all that. And we want everyone to go in to the system. And then we're going to cut that off on September 24th. So again, you can go in with a spouse and show them, you know, everything that you're enrolled in, and if they have opinions or thoughts or whatever, and all the benefit summaries and everything that we talked about here will be on Employee Navigator site. So it's a great tool for you guys and a great resource. Does anybody have any questions? I've put them to sleep now.
Well, I've muted everybody, so they would if you have a question, feel free to unmute and let us know.
And guys, once you get that email from Employee Navigator, if you have questions on anything or you need assistance doing that enrollment, come and see Becca or myself and we'll help you through that. We also have paper enrollment forms. If you're absolutely do not want to do it online, you can come and fill out a paper form where we can assist you and do it for you and you just sign off on it. But we do need everybody to log in, see what you're currently enrolled in, make your selections, and get that done before September 24th so we can get you built in the system and you're ready to go by October 1st. Any questions out there? Okay, so like Brendan said, we did record today's call. Let your coworkers know if they weren't able to attend, I can share it with them. Everybody should have gotten an email from me yesterday afternoon about today's call with the attachments to that. If you did not get that email from me, check your junk mail or come and see me because we might not have a current email address for you. So that might be a problem as well. So if you didn't get an email from me yesterday, come and see me today or text me. All right. Thank you very much, Brandon and Mandy.
Thank you,
You bet.
everybody.
Thank you, everybody. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
That's all we have. Thank you. Have a good day.
Bye-bye.
Bye.